I believe another one of my popular hashtags is hashtag when you date thugs, you date death, hashtag date thugs, date death. Because I believe that when a person dates a person that has a large criminal history, a rap sheet, just a lot of bad stuff on their record, and on top of that, because I do think that some things you can get better in life and be a better person. But when you are actively going through that struggle, actively not living a law-abiding lifestyle, I don't think that that is conducive to families, being conducive to living with somebody like that, nor is it conducive to having your children around. And I think this is another tragic story that proves my point. And I'm going to keep proving my point every story I bring you. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And I'm getting this story from a website I have not used before, so I'm going to hope that the information that they've given is accurate as I found it in other websites. So I'm using theadvocate.com. So shout out to theadvocate.com. The father of a 1-year-old infant shot and killed the girl and her mother Sunday inside an Ascension Parish trailer park, where the mother and the child had been living, according to authorities, families, and neighbors. Calvin and Cal for sale. This guy for sale looks like he has foreskin on his head. Like, why does his head look like that? He's 39. Bro, it might be just time to just go ahead, like a lot of us that are over the age of 39 years old, us brothers, just shave it off, man. That looks ridiculous. And he probably walked around every day looking like that. Golly. That boy looked like somebody's wild animal that was let loose. Speaking of wild animals, he was arrested Sunday and booked early Monday in the slangs of a woman by the name of Christina Lynn Artis, who's 41 years old, Artus, and her daughter, Kaylee Forsell, 1 year old. So she had that man's last name. Here's why I call people thugs. It is not because of their skin color. Don't think because he's black and I'm just saying, yeah, thug is associated with black, because it's not. Thug is a behavior. It is an action. Okay? He is a convicted felon with prior history of firearms, drug and criminal damage charges, and allegations of firing a gun into property, according to court documents. Would that make him a thug? Absolutely, based on his actions. Firearms, drug and criminal history, allegations of firing a gun into property. Don't sound like you need to be having kids by this type of person, or dating this type of person, or having unprotected sex with this person. Making babies, man. Y'all make babies in a real dangerous way, ladies. Not all of y'all, but too many. On probation for some of those past convictions. Let me say that again, because it sounds like he was still dealing with the mother. He was on probation for some of those past convictions. That means you should have known that he was on probation, because usually when you're on probation, or if you're on parole, you usually will be able to look that up in the record and know that. But I'm sure she didn't care about his criminal history, because she's was just in love with her man, y'all, in the trailer park. He had a bench warrant issued for his arrest for missing a mandatory court date in Ascension, Paris, 5 days before the slings, according to court papers. Now, Sheriff Bobby Weber said in a statement that the mother and the child were shot at close range, and that the investigators believe that the shooting was a domestic violence incident. It's funny how y'all love to date them thugs. Y'all, when I say y'all, that's a general term, not everybody. It ain't everybody. It ain't all thugs. But in general, I noticed that women like to date these dangerous ass criminal men. And because they like that type of protective behavior, because they think that they're going to inflict that type of behavior on everybody except for them and except their kids, until that thug lion decides to act like a lion because of its nature and then attack its owner, attack its keeper, and anything else around it. That's what the thug lion did. You don't tame a thug lion, you leave it alone in its own environment. You don't deal with it. Donovan Jackson, sheriff spokesman, said Monday that deputies arrived after a call 5:30 p.m. for a woman believed to be Artis. She and her child were found dead inside the trailer park home. Artis lived in the Oak Village mobile home park, which is off of LA 30 and just outside of Gonzales city limits. So I do know where Gonzales is because I had to look that up one time because there was a biker rally that was kind of in that area. So I'm kind of familiar with that area in Louisiana. Some neighbors said that they heard gunshots on Sunday, but didn't realize that they were tied to a fatal shooting nearby until after deputies arrived. Artists who grew up in the Mandeville area but went to Covington schools had been employed in the region's industrial sector as a refinery worker and had met for sale in the plant, according to her sister. So it sounded like she met him at work. The sister, Michelle Soto of the Hammond area, said artists in for sale had problems in the past, but the slings are very much a surprise. What do y'all want to bet that their past dealings were physical? So if they were physical in the past, why would that be a surprise? I think people are just fooling themselves, especially with them having a long criminal history. You get what I'm saying? Let's keep going. She said Kaylee was her sister's first child and that her sister was a happy person and would help anybody who needed it. She would do anything for you, Soto said. Kaylee had made her first birthday in early December. Investigators believe Forsell fled the scene of the slings, ditched his car at a nearby store on Airline Highway, and then ran into a neighborhood, Jackson, the sheriff's spokesman, said. A resident spotted Forsell apparently trying to steal a car, and with the help of a neighbor, wrestled Forsell to the ground until deputies arrived. Booking records list Forsell, and shout out to them for actually tackling that fool. So shout out to them. That's a dangerous thing to do, but shout out to them. Yes, Gonzales is between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. That is absolutely right. I actually had to look it up on the map, so I'm definitely familiar. You're absolutely right. But they wrestled him to the ground until police got there. Booking records listed him as 5'7" and weighing 120 pounds, so he's a little bitty dude. Jackson said responding deputies didn't initially connect Forsell with the nearby sling, but later on did. Forsell was initially held as a person of interest in the deaths. At the time of the slings, Forsell had been on probation from a February 2023 gun conviction, not a charge, gun conviction on record for a 2020 property shooting. Forsell admitted, his own words, to firing a gun in the window of a trailer home on October 28th of 2020. What is him in these trailer parks and shooting up trailer parks? Like he is a trailer park menace. He shot into a window of a trailer park home on on October 28th of 2020 and pled guilty to illegal weapons and gun possessions counts. And that's according to court papers. That plea was reached less than 2 months before he was arraigned again over another alleged property shooting from 2022 at the Magnolia Crossing Apartments. The Magnolia, home of the soldiers. In the Magnolia Crossing shooting, Gonzales police officers had accused him of firing 9 times into the passenger side door of a vehicle on May 24th of 2022, according to an arrest warrant. And that's who she want to have kids by? Look at his face. 120 pounds. So you know he can't fight, so he just resorts to shooting at everybody. The shooting at Magnolia Crossing was actually captured on video surveillance. Forsell wasn't picked up by Gonzales police until almost a year later on April 10th of 2023. Though just starting 2 years probation after his February 2023 conviction from the 2020 trailer home shooting, Forsell was released on an $80,000 bail 4 days after his arrest on April 2023 on the Magnolia Crossing shooting, booking records say. On January 9th of this year, Forsell had missed a mandatory court date for a check of his payment of fines and fees stemming from his 2 years probation from 2020 trailer home shooting. A bench warrant was out for his arrest at the time of the slayings on Sunday, court papers say. Separately, Forsell was also due back in court for a hearing on the charges he was facing from the Magnolia Crossing shootings in 2022, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and simple criminal damage to property. How many of y'all feel sorry for her? You know about my city? Look, yeah, of course. Like, how many of y'all don't actually know that I used to actually spend quite a few of my birthdays in New Orleans. I've actually met some, I'm going to just say some fans of mine. I'm not going to say any particular names, but shout out to the people who know, who have actually met me in New Orleans, who know me. But I've spent, each time I go to New Orleans for my birthday in August, I usually spend about a week there. I didn't go last year. I missed it last year. But I usually like to plan a trip to go to New Orleans, usually around my birthday. Love being out of New Orleans. I just love the city. So yeah, I absolutely know about the city. Know a bunch of people out there. In the slayings, Forsell was booked early Monday on 2 counts of first-degree murder, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, unauthorized entry, simple burglary, felony theft of a motor vehicle, and illegal use of weapons, according to booking records. He was being held Monday without bail. And this is who we are producing children by. And I'm just saying, I think there's a lot more good men out there. But if you don't want good men, then just don't have babies. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. If you guys would do me a favor, if you're watching this video, do me a favor and please click that thumbs up and share this with someone. Share it in your favorite true crime groups and all of that good stuff. And let's try to build this community together. So, only got a couple of short news videos.
And new at noon, we're slowly beginning to learn more about a tragic investigation into a death of a mother and a 1-year-old in Ascension Parish over the weekend. 39-year-old Kelvin Dorsell was arrested after the murder of Christina Artis and 1-year-old Kaylee Forsell were found dead inside of a Gonzales home. Ascension deputies say they responded to reports of a homicide in the Oak Village mobile home park around 5:30 Sunday evening. That's near Highway 30 in Gonzales. Right now it's still unclear what exactly led up to their death, but we know that Kelvin Forsell is being facing first-degree murder charges, among others. And an
update on yesterday's double murder in Gonzales. The mother and child killed at the Oak Village mobile home park were 41-year-old Christina Artis and 1-year-old Kaylee Forsell.
The sheriff's office believes Artis' boyfriend, who was also the child's father, shot them to death. News 2's Daniel McClain reports.
Around 5:30 Sunday evening, Ascension Parish Sheriff's deputies were called to the home on Highway 30 in Gonzales on a report of a domestic dispute. They found Artis and her daughter lifeless. Their suspect, 39-year-old Kelvin Forsell, was captured nearby after he reportedly tried to steal a car. The car's owner nabbed him and held him for deputies. Investigators learned that people near the shooting reported seeing Forsell flee the scene.
We know that when this incident occurred, that he attempted to try to flee the scene. He ditched his car at a local store somewhere and tried to wind up stealing another car. Fortunately, the owner was able to come before he was able to successfully steal the car and subdued him, and that's when we responded to him and made that arrest.
Back at the home, deputies found that Artis and her daughter had both been shot at close range with a handgun.
Unfortunately, both of our victims suffered gunshot wounds to the head during that incident.
Forsell has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder along with weapons, burglary, and theft charges. He was also accused of possession of a gun by a convicted felon. Daniel McClain, WBRZ News 2.
Forsell was due in court Tuesday on an unrelated arrest from 2023. He was accused of shooting 9 holes into an unoccupied car.
This boy looked like he's one of Rick James' love children or something like that, and a child that he didn't know he had, man. But nonetheless, this incident shouldn't have happened. And I know people think that I'm harsh by continuing to put the onus on the mothers, but there is a choice. Like, you have a choice. Like, if you want to date men like this, just don't have kids. Like, I don't know why that's that hard, because I try to put a lot of power back in women's hands and get them to understand that y'all control a lot of the destiny of these children, whether you bring children into this world or whether you don't. And if you understand that this person not living a reputable lifestyle, a law-abiding lifestyle, that you shouldn't be a parent, then I don't like this is the result that you're going to get at the end of the day. That's about as harsh as this is going to get. And I don't really want to just continue to just rain down insults on the family. So RIP to the little baby, RIP to the mom. But I do this to try to educate people in hopes of preventing tragedies like these going forward. So y'all do me a favor, put an RIP in the chat, put hands up in the chat, because that's a beautiful little baby. And I wish that baby could have grown up to become something great and had an opportunity, okay? But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section, okay? Thank you.